Well, good morning again, everyone. And as always, I am your host, Chi-Town Zone, for Tuesday, December the 17th, 2019. Again, thank you for joining me, everyone. And, we're just no less than 8 days away until Christmas, you guys. I mean, it's so hard to believe, as I've said yesterday, just how fast this year has gone by. It's been an extraordinary 3 years, to say the least, with President Trump being in office and, of course, the desperate Democrat Party doing all that they can to get a duly elected sitting president removed from office based on the fact that they just don't like the guy. They don't have anything on him when it comes to Russia, and they certainly don't have anything on him when it comes to Ukraine, other than hearsay and opinion, guys. But of course, tomorrow the House Democrats are going to go to the floor for a full vote, as many of you may know, to try to get President Trump impeached. And as I've said again, even if they are able to get enough votes to get President Trump removed, or should I say impeached, it still has to go through the Senate. So, no worries, guys. Mitch McConnell already went on to state, that the bill will be DOA once it makes its way to the Senate. But of course, things are looking to get very interesting, to say the least, as we're getting closer to 2020. As I've said again, it's really unbelievable just how fast this year has gone by. Before you know it, many of us will be going to the polls again in November of 2020. And, of course, moderate Democrats, they're absolutely terrified, going into 2020 out of fear that they're going to lose seats, as we get closer and closer to November of 2020. And, of course, they oppose the impeachment of President Trump. We already know that two of them are opposed to the impeachment as well. One of them have already flipped Republican. I brought you this story yesterday as well. I believe another one has already flipped independent, but we're going to continue to keep our eye on this as we draw closer and closer to the full House vote again as well. Of course, I will be leaving links in the description box below. But tell me, how do you feel about this, guys? Feel free to leave a comment down in the box below. What do you feel about this whole impeachment sham? Does it make you angry? Are you going to vote again for President Trump in 2020? Are you Democrat and considering voting for President Trump? It's up to you guys. I mean, nobody can force you to vote for who you want. It's up to you guys. But of course, with that being said, and this is out of Breitbart News. If you give me just a quick second here, this one is absolutely going to blow your mind, guys. I mean, you want to talk about harassment? You want to talk about, groups like, far leftist radical domestic terrorist organizations like Antifa? This one is really going to blow your mind, guys. Just give me one quick second here. Of course, this is out of Breitbart News, where attendees, women there to support President Trump, apparently getting harassed, guys. That's correct. The article here goes to read, attendees of a high-profile Democrat wedding stalked and harassed and physically assaulted guests of an event hosted by Women for America First at the Willard Hotel in Washington, D.C. on Saturday. The pro-Trump group alleged a press release issued late Monday evening. Of course, these women were harassed for being Trump supporters. But the article here goes to read, approximately 200 women attended an informant Women for America First event titled The Very Mega Holiday Weekend at the Willard Hotel. The alleged high-profile Democrat wedding took place at an adjacent ballroom. The article here further reads, Women for America First is an outside conservative organization that supports President Donald Trump and is run by longtime grassroots conservative activist Amy Kramer. This is terrible, guys, when you hear of this kind of stuff happening. You want to talk about, harassment, and you want to talk about groups like Antifa where they attend Trump rallies from time to time, or they just randomly go out and they protest and they hurl insults at people. They are known to viciously assault people as well. They mace them, they hurl projectiles at them. They even assault police officers or shout, insults at officers as well. You want to talk about radical, and, you want to talk about dangerous, or should I say you want to talk about a bunch of cowards, a bunch of grown teenagers who have to hide their faces behind masks, when they go out and protest. But of course, moving on, guys, the article here further reads, the press release further alleges that Women for America First events guests were derided as, I can't repeat the word here, but of course it goes on to say mega trash and Nazis by wedding attendees. Of course, that's all they know how to do is shout Nazi at you or whatever because they have nothing else better to do. But the article here further reads, Women for America First released the following statement on Monday evening. Of course, Washington, D.C. last Saturday, Women for America First hosted approximately 200 women in Washington, D.C. for a very mega holiday weekend. We kicked off our 3-day weekend of events on Wednesday, December the 12th, with Women's Empowerment Boot Camp, followed by an informative White House policy briefing. Of course, other events included voicing our opposition to the impeachment process at the Capitol. Of course, I know other people as well voiced their opinion on this, including myself. This is absolutely wrong what the Democrats are doing. Maxine Waters, Nancy Pelosi, Jerry Nadler, especially Adam Schiff. They all know this is wrong, but of course, critics have already went on to, criticize Adam Schiff and told him, well, why can't you guys wait until 2020? But Adam Schiff went on to state that we cannot wait until 2020. We have to get this guy out now in order to prevent him from, in Adam Schiff's words, cheating. At least they believe that President Trump is going to cheat because they just can't take the fact that he beat them fair and square in 2016 and they're still crying about it. But moving on, guys, the article here further reads, give me just a quick second here. It is absolutely deplorable to be attacked by self-appointed DC elites at a private event in one of DC's most prestigious hotels located across the street from the White House for no other reason than that we support President Donald Trump. It's absolutely unfortunate, guys, that this is happening. I mean, you cannot, show your support for President Trump without being, attacked by someone who absolutely hates this guy because of the fact that they just don't like him. They don't have anything on him other than they, accuse President Trump of being a racist, being a Nazi, being a rapist, and being a fraud, and talk about President Trump needs to be impeached because he refuses to release his taxes. The whole Trump University thing as well, and so on. I mean, just nothing more than excuses, guys. But it's absolutely ridiculous that it's come to this, and it's really unfortunate. And of course, our thoughts and our prayers are with these women, and of course, anybody as well who is out there voicing, their support for President Trump, because many of us know as well as I that it's not easy. Unfortunately, there are so many out there who are, too afraid to come forward and show their support for President Trump out of fear of what others may say or think. There's others as well who are afraid to, wear their Trump hats in public, unless it's, at large gatherings out of fear that they're going to be physically assaulted by someone. And it's really unfortunate that, these kinds of things are happening on a daily because there's so many out there who absolutely don't like President Trump. And then, it's fortunate enough to say that there are those who support President Trump because of what he's doing. Look at the economy, look at the job reports. We have more African Americans, more Hispanic Americans, and more minorities back working than ever before under the previous president. The economy is booming. We pay low rates in taxes as well and so on. And the American people just can't appreciate that. And, what can I say, guys? And, it's really unfortunate that the Democrats are doing all that they can to get President Trump out of office, as I've said and others have said again, based on the fact that they just don't like the guy. But we're going to continue to pray for President Trump, his family, and his administration, and most importantly, this country, because we're getting closer to November of 2020. And make no mistake about it, as I've said again, President Trump is going to beat every one of these guys in a massive landslide come 2020, and they absolutely know it, and they are doing all that they can to get President Trump impeached, guys. But of course, with that being said, I am your host, Chi-Town Zone, and again, I will be leaving links in the description box below. But again, guys, tell me what you think about this. Leave your opinion down in the comments section below. And again, with that being said, do subscribe for those of you watching once again for the first time, and be sure to hit that little bell so whenever a video is uploaded, you will be notified. But of course, as always, I am your host. Do subscribe. God bless, and do stay tuned.